All right, so come into a strong, solid seated position where you feel very secure and supported. I'm here on my mat. I have a little cushion underneath my knee because I have some knee problems, but I'm in a strong seated position. I'm sitting on a cushion. It's chilly here, so I have a blanket around me too. But so my hips are higher than my knees. So come into that strong seated position. And we're going to take 3 rounds of long, slow, deep inhales to at least a count of 5. And at the top, hold for about a count of 4. And then exhale at least 2 counts longer. So about 7 counts. At the bottom, hold for another 4. And we'll do this 3 times. I'll guide you through the first one, and the second 2 you'll do silently on your own. So exhale your airs to prepare for the inhale. And now take a long, slow, deep inhale through your entire body, filling your body with all the air in the room. When you think you can't inhale anymore, inhale a little bit more. And now hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. And now fully exhale, pressing all the air out. You can open your mouth, you can sigh. And when you think you can't press out any more air, press out a little more air. And then hold 2, 3. Now do the next 2 rounds silently on your own. And now return to a regular, normal breathing, as opposed to what we just did where we consciously chose our breathing pattern. Now let your breath breathe you. Let your breath lead. And just become aware of wherever you're naturally breathing. Just notice it. No right or wrong. Let your body lead. And become physically very still. And now that you're still, slow down. Slow down your breathing. Slow down your heart rate. Slow down your mind. And notice that as you become physically still and slow down, how your perception and awareness increase in proportion to how still and slow that you are. Experiment with this. Check it out. And now that you're anchored in your natural breath, physically still and very slow, relax. Let yourself melt and drop, releasing any tension that you're holding on to, releasing any resistance. And if your breath isn't already in your lower belly, we're now going to drop your breath lower. To do this, start wherever you're naturally breathing. Notice where you're breathing, if it's in your chest, your throat, your diaphragm, your belly. Just notice where you're naturally breathing and breathe in exactly where you are. And as you exhale, let it drop a few inches in your body. Whatever spot you drop to, inhale here. And again, drop a few inches on the exhale. Wherever you landed on that drop, that's your inhale point. Exhale down and back, dropping a few inches more. And keep doing this until you find yourself pretty much breathing from your pelvic floor, the lowest part of your torso. Inhaling, expanding from the lowest part of your lower belly and pelvic floor. Exhaling down and back into your sit bones and tailbone. Inhaling to the front of your pelvic floor and your lower belly. Exhaling down and back. For a few moments now, just practice and get used to this lower belly anchored breath. This is your gravitas, literally, your anchor. This is your spot of embodiment of being anchored, grounded. This is graceful. And remember, we're relaxed right now. We're present, relaxed. This is grace. This is presence. This is being embodied. This to me is true power, not power over, but power from. Anchored in my lower belly breath, completely still, slow, aware, but completely relaxed. That balance of strong spine, strong seated position, and soft, receptive, aware. And it's physical. It's all physical. So now that you're anchored in your lower belly breath, physically still and very slow and totally relaxed, the final step to true presence is not knowing. To be present requires curiosity and not knowing. This moment is unknown. It's always fresh and new. Any thoughts or ideas you have are of the past. And to come into the not knowing, to the unknown, it simply takes curiosity. Reminding yourself that it's not what you think it is. And just coming back to that quiet, vast, anchored breath again and again and again. I'm setting a timer for 5 minutes. There'll be a bell to start and a bell to end. Enjoy the silence. Practice staying in your anchored gravitas belly breath, in the still, silent unknown. Breath by precious fleeting breath. Screams and laughter of the world are allowed to be there. Practice staying in your body, no matter what's going on externally. It's as simple as returning to the breath. Maintain your presence, your awareness as you shift from your attention being inward to a little more outward. See if you can maintain that inward attention as you shift to also listening. This is the practice. This is the practice of integrity, of trust, of not knowing, of grace, of gravitas, of integrity. I'm repeating myself. It's all physical. It's all physical. And the more you practice physically, the more of a physical habit this becomes. The Chinese New Year is coming up, right? So it's another new opportunity to recommit to yourself, to the life that you want to have, to living in your integrity, right? To be embodied and grounded in yourself. And all this takes is practice. We just sat for 5 minutes, right? You can develop this. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. So practice. Where is your practice at now? And if this is important to you, how can you build and maintain your practice? Everyone just did 5 minutes, no matter what it looked like for you. Remember, this is a practice. You cannot get it wrong, and you can't get it right. It's practice, moment by moment returning. All that matters is you practice. It doesn't matter if it looks good, and it doesn't matter if you did it great. It doesn't matter. Keep practicing. So then the question becomes, how do you increase, improve, strengthen your practice? Start where you are, right? So you all just did 5 minutes. Can you commit to doing 5 minutes every day if you're not already? making that commitment to yourself. And then test it out. See if you can. I mean, I have to set timers in my phone, especially when I'm creating a new habit. Often bells that just go off with a little word like, breathe or do a squat, like whatever, to create that new habit in myself, right? Make it easy, make it doable. Do it at a time when it's kind of seamless for you in your day. It could be or like when you get out of bed and you put your feet on the floor, you just stay there for 5 minutes. This will be up on YouTube soon. You can then, if you need the guide, you can listen to this. Ideally, you don't need me as a crutch, and ideally, you don't need to listen to me. You can do this on your own. But when that comes, that'll come. Use a crutch until you don't need it anymore, but don't try to not use a crutch, right? It helps you to build your own strength, right? And then, like, once you're at 5 minutes a day for at least a week or 10 days or 2 weeks, then you can push to 7 minutes or 9 minutes, right? But if you start doing 5 minutes a day and you find that you're missing days, well, trust that. Trust yourself. Honor yourself. I'm not doing 5 minutes. Nothing wrong with that. Maybe you need to go down to 3 minutes. Maybe it's just 1 minute. Maybe you need to lock yourself in a bathroom and sit on a literal throne for 1 minute each day just to get it in. Maybe you do, right before you go to lunch each day, right before you get in the shower, you just stop and take 1 minute to breathe and practice that. And once you've nailed that for about 7 to 10 days, maybe 2 weeks, then you can push a little more. When you push, see how your practice maintains, right? If you find yourself falling off, go back down to what you could do consistently. Consistency is more important than quantity. I'd rather you nail a consistent practice that's doable for you. Hell, if 1 minute is too much, you find yourself not doing it, set an alarm to where at a random time a bell goes off and all you're taking is one breath. Nail one breath a day. Be really kind and gentle with yourself. Now, there's some of us that need to push and like it's actually easier if we go further, faster, harder. All right, then challenge yourself, right? All right, I'm going to sit 10 minutes every day. Let's start there. And then ideally you get yourself up to 20 minutes a day. I do recommend 2 to 3 minute increments at most as you expand up if you want to develop a consistent practice that's with you for life, right? Again, some people can jump in and like run a marathon tomorrow and be fine. The majority of us, I know specifically with the marathon, if I was to run one tomorrow, by mile 4, my knees will probably be swollen and I'm not running again for like maybe months, maybe years. So if at all. So for me, I have to train, get my body ready. Right? Do what's right for you. Don't believe me, but do practice. This is your life. And the more you practice, the more awake and connected to your own life you become. And that's my hope for you. So practice. This will be up on YouTube definitely by Tuesday, if not sooner. There's another version that's already up on YouTube that's not as good that you can use of this to walk you through. I believe it's a 37-minute video because there's a Q&A that we all did a couple of weeks ago that's on there. But the meditation, I think, is only 10 or 15 minutes. Use these tools if they're helpful to you. Sitting with you. Thank you guys for your practice. Have a gorgeous, gorgeous week.